One guy, he can shoot. The other guy, not so much.
Where we gonna go to celebrate? Thinking Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay, yep.
Get that stuff out of here.
And although they're very different in many ways, most importantly, they're brothers for life. And they always gonna have something to say.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. You gonna end up like Russell Westbrook. You gonna be just out.
Here we go. Q and AJ back again. We got Desmond back for another segment with us. We want to talk a little bit about James Harden versus Russell Westbrook. Two players that are currently playing in the NBA that are currently teammates. Both perennial All-Stars, both former MVPs. But one has to be better than the other one. I don't know why we're having this discussion. It's James Harden, clearly. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Can I get an amen? Amen. Yes, boy. But Allen
You're the
thinks
only one.
Huh?
You're the only one. Go ahead.
Can you just give me a second to do my thing?
Go ahead.
Just don't rule. Your mama taught you better. Anywho, I'm gonna tell her you said that too. Actually, she should be watching. Shout out to Mama Ward. But anyway, we want to talk a little bit about this because both players are really good. Like I said, former MVPs, perennial All-Stars, and the like. Current teammates. They had been teammates prior. Can't go wrong with either one, but one has to be better. I'm gonna give Allen the floor and give his bull job as to why he think that what that man name is.
Stop
Russell.
it. Don't. Okay, shut your mouth. All right, so here's how this gonna go. Russ is better. You know what? And I'm not here to down James Harden. James Harden is my dude. You know, I'm a Rockets fan. You know, because in Russ I trust. Wherever Russ go, I go. That's how it is.
How long you been a Rockets fan?
I've been a Rockets fan since they made the trade for Russell Westbrook. You know, it is what it is. I mean, what you want me to say? I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Anyways, that's the GOAT behind me. Y'all see him? Wait, hold on. Right here. GOAT man. Yeah, that's him. Dunked on the 7-footer in that picture, but we're not gonna talk about that right now.
I mean, you want to talk about putting some hurt on an inanimate object. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Russell Westbrook.
And he's going to remember that Thon Maker for the rest.
So look,
It's a sacrifice goal. This
you know,
is
I like James Harden, but Russ, to me, I'm just a Russ type of dude. Like, you know, he's not that, you know, skilled, but he is skilled in many ways, but he's not as skilled as James Harden, obviously. I like a guy that, you know, pulls stuff out the dirt, you know what I'm saying? Like, Russ, he gonna go get that rebound. Russ, he gonna, you know what I'm saying? He gonna just do what he need to do. Russell Westbrook is just, I mean, what more do I need to say about Russ? Like, I mean, you say James is a better scorer. Yes, he's a better scorer, obviously. But Russ, he's a great scorer in his own right. Sixth man, Russell Westbrook. I get that to Russ. Rebound, defense, definitely Russell Westbrook. So, I mean, James Harden is nice. I love James Harden. That's my teammate now. That's my teammate. I ain't here to talk bad about James Harden.
your teammate.
What I'm saying is this. Russell Westbrook is the best guard in the league, and it just is what it is.
I'm glad that I let Bible principles govern my life because Desmond, go ahead.
There's no debate here.
I swear to God, you better not.
Russell Westbrook, man. I mean, think about it. Yes, I'm not knocking off James Harden. James Harden is an excellent scorer. But when you say that word scorer, I ain't going to say scorer, shooter. He's a better shooter than Westbrook. Scoring, though, you got to think, what all moves or what all can he do to score? Westbrook has the post game. He can take it coast to coast.
James can't?
Yeah, of course James can. But how many times do you see James Harden really post players up like that? Getting an offensive rebound at that, putting it back up. Hustle plays. Russell Westbrook is a walking double too. Like 3 years, that's history, man.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about his 3-point shooting.
We're not going to – I just
no, don't talk about. We ain't gonna talk about that. We gonna talk about that.
He already gave that to you. He already gave it to you.
He's a better free throw shooter, but everything else.
We talk about. Listen, we were having this discussion last week's episode with a guy named Jalen Orr, and I don't know if you watched that episode. If you didn't, first of all, I'm gonna bust you up for not watching it, but go back and watch it, because said that there's a difference between being a better scorer and a more skilled scorer. You know, some people can score in a more of a variety of ways, but they don't put the ball in the bucket more. Now, with that being said, James just happens to be both the better scorer because he scores more points and the, you know, more skilled scorer because he scores in more ways. I mean, everything you say, like, okay, the post play, okay, Russ might be a better post player, but James Harden's game is not deficient in that category. Better mid-range, I don't think – I mean, I guess they're comparable. I mean, you know, pick your poison. Both of them can shoot mid-range. Long distance, that's Harden. Free throws, that's Harden. I mean, if you want to go defensively, you know, Russ is the better defender, I suppose. I don't have my numbers. I mean, that's funny. Numerically, it's actually not big of a discrepancy numerically as you think. Like,
but it is. Sorry, sir.
I mean, if you want to catch those numbers for me, then prove me wrong. But I mean, I'm taking James, man. And
it is.
Funny thing about it.
Adam.
Okay, well, give me the numbers in a second. But I'm taking James for this reason. First of all, I put it like this. I'm not a fan of Mike D'Antoni at all. I think Mike D'Antoni is like the most overrated coach, one of the more overrated coaches ever. He does great things with players. He gets players to kind of inflate numbers a little bit, which obviously helps the team, but he doesn't necessarily go anywhere. Like, he's always, you know, like hovering around that second round Western Conference, whatever. I actually thought James, like, some of his numbers have been inflated with D'Antoni, but I think, like, when they had Kevin McHale, his passing abilities and display were more showcased. I think in some ways D'Antoni's system actually hinders James, at least when it comes to distributing the basketball, because he's pretty much trying to get James to go one-on-one and get those numbers. So looking at him under a McHale system and under a D'Antoni system, I just think he's a better all-around player. I told Alan a while ago, when it boils down to Russ and James Harden, I really think it's pick your poison. I think James is a little bit better. But if you swap them in situations, they're going to get to the same place. When we saw Harden with no help in Houston, they were getting to the first round and out. Then the tables turned. Harden got a little bit of help, if you want to call it Dwight Howard help, whatever. And, you know, Russ didn't have nobody. I mean, because remember, the OKC, he had help, and they blew that 3-1 lead to – Allen will tell you a little bit about that. He knows all about that. But once KD left, you know, first round. So I think they're interchangeable. It's like if you put them as the lone star, they'll win a lot of games. They'll win MVP. They'll get you to the first round, and it'll be over. Allen, go ahead.
Oh, my God.
What do you mean?
Using that word. Interchangeable. That is pissing me off. We're not talking about where they teams end up. We're talking about who the better player.
James Harden.
Yes. No, he's not. Sorry. You talking about, first of all around. James Harden is better. I can't believe you told that lie. Like, stop it.
Dude,
Westbrook is better all around.
Nobody in the world thinks that James Harden is a less player than Russell Westbrook. Nobody thinks that, man.
That's because y'all don't know basketball. That's why.
Nobody knows basketball.
Y'all don't know basketball. Yes, me and Desmond. We the only ones. Only ones. I mean, you talking about all around. Like, how is he better all around? Like, Westbrook's the better defender, assist man, rebounding. I mean, hustling, fast break. I mean, James Harden's a better scorer. James Harden's a better scorer, and that's it. Like,
he's a better winner too. But go ahead.
No, he's not a better winner. You just said they end up in the same place. So how is he a better winner?
I think you meant to say he's a better leader.
Yeah,
he's a better leader.
No, Westbrook's definitely a better leader.
Are you kidding me?
Yes. Absolutely.
I get it. People don't like James.
Can't do it.
Yeah, slightly to James, but like I said,
you gonna give it slightly to who? Say it again.
James Harden.
Oh!
Because Mike D'Antoni's system is designed to get his main scorer, James Harden, the ball to rock. But I'm not gonna be anti here. I'm still all Westbrook. When you got a guy giving you 110% every day, every night on the court, both ends on the ball, that's what I want on my team.
Let me ask you a question, Desmond. Let me ask you a question. Let me just deviate for a second. Do you think the fact that Michael Jordan gave 100% opposed to LeBron's 80% makes him better than LeBron?
I still think in my opinion, LeBron's better than Michael Jordan.
Okay, so the fact that Michael Jordan gave 110% every night doesn't propel him over, right?
No.
Okay, so same thing here. Just because Westbrook gives 110% doesn't. I don't want to hear that in his argument tomorrow.
No, Desmond's giving you points. He's giving you point after point. That was just one of his points. That's not deep reach.
That's a terrible point. Go ahead.
No, it's not. It's a good point.
But when people bring it up, Alan, I see you off camera. We got some talking to do. Go ahead, Desmond.
February 29th of this year, they played Boston. James Harden had shot 7 for 24 from the floor, including 4 for 17 beyond the three-point line.
Okay.
Westbrook shot 16 for 27 from the floor, 41 points.
Okay.
And let's see, where'd that go? Where did that go? And he shot 1 for 2 from the three-point line. So he didn't shoot, of course, obviously, from the three-point line because he's not a three-point line shooter. But point, Westbrook, he's changed the whole Houston Rockets team tremendously. Last year in transition, they were, 24th? Ranked 24th? Now they're 11th, 10th in the league.
Let me ask you a question. Let's just be real about them Houston teams, right? Prior to Russell Westbrook. First of all, yes, Russ helped the Rockets, but also that Clint Capella trade is probably the most underrated move of the year. But we'll get back to that in a little bit. Let me ask you a question. If Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, was that 2 years ago? Did the Rockets win that series? Is that 2 years ago already?
2-3 years? I don't know.
Whatever it was. Do they win that series?
We don't know.
I'm asking. I'm just asking his opinion.
I don't know.
I'm talking to Desmond. I don't want to talk to you no more.
I don't know as well. Anything could have happened during that time. But
okay, the reason I asked that question because I don't think Harden gets enough credit for all the things that he helped Houston do over those years, especially running into Golden State. I go all the way back to 2015 when they were in the Western Conference Finals, where his second co-stars, I won't call Dwight Howard washed at that point, but he was like on his way to being washed, sitting there, not playing because, my knee hurts a little bit. I got a little knee soreness. And James Harden kept them. They lost that series in 5 games, but James Harden games 1 through 4 played his behind off. I mean, you go back and watch those highlights, go look at those numbers, played his behind off. And if it wasn't for them, kept running to Golden State every year, with the exception of, I think it was 2016 when they ran into San Antonio and Manu Ginobili, as I like to call him, blocked that shot, which I hate Harden for that. I really think that Houston would have at least made one finals appearance if it wasn't for that juggernaut running in their way. Can I interest you in that?
Was that a Kawhi Leonard-less team? Wasn't he hurt in Game 6? And James Harden only scored, 9 points?
We talking about one game. Do you want to talk about all the Westbrook's? Come on, man.
And he was a no-show, though. Come on, man.
A no-show. Westbrook ain't never been a no-show. Westbrook ain't never been a no-show.
Yeah, he just loses in 5 games habitually to Utah.
Westbrook will go.
Go ahead.
Westbrook will go 5 for 30 before he no-show. I know that. And hold on.
5 for 30, he's showing up.
Hey, he trying, but
They're not showing up.
Talk about efficiency. Guess who's shooting better from the field this year? Russell Westbrook, 47%. James Harden shooting 43, and they're taking the same amount of shots per game.
Let me ask you a question. Did what's his name? Russell Westbrook, has he gotten over 20% on 3-pointers this year? Has he gotten?
Yes, he's over.
Yes, he's over.
So look at Allen. He wouldn't hit. That's what he did.
No, my 5%. The screen glitched again, but
I would. It's okay. I know that's one of your favorite games, hide and go seek. But I don't want this topic to get too long. We will revisit this at another time. We got to get out of here. We will be right back. Desmond, thank you again for joining us. We'll have you back on the show to discuss this among other things. I want to thank you for taking time out your day to be here with us for these 2 topics. We're gonna let you go. AJ and I will be right back after this. Boo to the James Harden.
No.
Yeah.